What's up, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader market. I'm also going to talk about why tomorrow is going to be a very crazy day as we have President Trump making some important announcements. His tariffs are going to be coming into effect, so I'm going to break down how this may affect the markets and some key levels to watch for as time goes on. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below, or sign up to my QR code that's right over here. Moomoo is an amazing global brokerage that's giving away free Nvidia stock. If you sign up and deposit $100, you're going to get $20 worth of Nvidia stock. If you deposit $2,000, you're going to get $50 worth of the stock. Deposit $10,000 to get $300 worth, and deposit $50,000 to get $1,000 of free Nvidia stock. You'll also qualify for an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. That includes a 4.1% APY base rate plus a 4% APY for an extra 3 months. The offer ends very soon, so check out my link down below to get the free Nvidia stock or sign up with my QR code that's right over here. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the markets. So as far as the market's going, I want to show you guys something real quick. As you know, this is what the chart looked like yesterday. And when you look at this chart, right, it would be favoring downside a bit more because President Trump was threatening higher tariffs on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. We had President Trump's tariff deadline approaching. And after we got the very important services numbers, the market did sell off quite a bit. So this chart would be favoring downside a bit more as we were struggling to hold 630. I mentioned in my video yesterday that if SPY got above 630, we could still turn back to bullish and see a temporary bounce. But if we lost 6 to 6.5, we'd be looking more bearish to come down to fill this gap. And I was favoring the downside move based off this chart right over here. However, when you go back to what actually happened, instead of just dumping, so from right here, instead of just continuing to fall and fall and fall, the market did the opposite. The market saw a very, very nice bounce, and we saw some more upside as a result of all of this. So that's very, very important news. So why did the market actually gap up and just start running instead of getting this sell-off? One of the reasons is because of manipulation, and another reason is because of a bullish piece of news that just came out. Now, I can't predict every single piece of news perfectly. Sometimes unexpected things can happen, right? If the market's looking bullish, and all of a sudden there's a new virus tomorrow, a new pandemic, the market will just tank, right? We can't always predict everything, but instead we got the bullish case as we're holding above 630. And if we keep holding above 630, SPY is still going to be favoring upside, so I think it's best to just pay attention to the levels. So what's the bullish piece of news? The news has come out that Tim Cook of Appl is announcing that Apple is going to be investing another $100 billion into the USA because of the pressure that Apple's facing from these tariffs, right? There's so much pressure, and it's going to be affecting iPhone sales potentially and the prices of producing iPhones. Apple have announced that they want to be producing a more affordable version of their iPhone, and they're going to be working very hard on that. On top of that, they're going to be continuing to expand their efforts at building in the USA. And as a result of this news, we saw Apple absolutely explode. So they want to be investing an additional $100 billion over the next 4 years into US manufacturing. That's a massive piece of news, a massive sum of money. And on top of this, it's not just Apple and themselves, right? We have other suppliers that want to do the same things. We have other manufacturing firms committing $2.5 billion. And then we also have their supplier Applied Materials announcing they're going to be investing $200 million into the Arizona factories. And then Apple said that the glass manufacturing announcement was part of a $600 billion commitment to bring in parts of its supply chains to the US. So there's going to be a lot of money invested into the US, and they're going to continue to invest to once again further solidify their positions and to help alleviate some of the pain that could be coming from tariffs. So that's Apple's big move. As a result of that move, okay, Apple is up. It was up 5% during the open trading hours, and now it's up 2% in the after hours. So it's up 7% so far. That's once again hundreds of billions of dollars being pumped into Apple stock. And that is once again helping this push closer to like the 220 area. Apple is what led the market up, and that's part of why we got this pump, despite all the negative news that has been coming out. So as long as SPY is above 630, our key EMAs right here, this is now favoring a cup and handle. Charts could change directions all the time, so sometimes you have to be very open about that. And now we're favoring the upside direction as long as this holds. If we lose 630, there's going to be a risk of us retesting these like low areas around 628 or 626.5. And if we lose 6 to 6.5, it will turn back to bearish. We're going to be expecting this gap fill and a big dump, but we're not really there right now. We're favoring upside as long as this support holds. So far, the chart's looking quite bullish. Now, I do want to warn you guys that despite the fact that we're holding up like this, I'm not going to make promises about this chart because things are becoming trickier since we have so much stuff coming out for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday, August 7th, 2025. We have initial jobless claims coming out in the morning alongside continuing jobless claims. Then we have wholesale inventories at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time alongside bill auctions and other consumer credit pieces of data. So I do expect some volatility when this initial jobless claims data comes out, but typically it's not too bad. Another factor is that President Trump has his tariffs. The tariffs are going to be implemented tomorrow, so we will see if this causes the market to slow down or not, or if the market just keeps rallying for the time being, because once again, a lot of this could be priced in, or maybe the effect could be delayed. That's always a possibility. Tomorrow is going to be August 7th. That is President Trump's tariff deadline for his tariffs on different countries, and it's going to be coming as soon as tomorrow, so keep that in mind. Another reason why the market held up so well is that we had earnings. I went over this in the morning. Basically, Uber, Shopify, and Walt Disney did very, very well with earnings. They all raised their guidances. They all had good earnings beating on EPS and revenue. And Disney especially did well. That's why we saw a lot of these earnings push. Tomorrow, we have very, very minor earnings, so keep that in mind. President Trump announced that he wants to increase tariffs by an additional 25% on Indian goods, putting the total tariff at 50% for many products. That's a new high tariff because of their direct and indirect sales of Russian weapons and them once again using Russian oil, which President Trump is not happy about. So he's trying to incentivize India to use more American oil and to do more business with America. Unless if they keep doing business with Russia, they're going to be hit with higher tariffs. President Trump also mentioned that he wants to increase tariffs on semiconductors as soon as next week. He's going to be making the announcement. And then he wants to increase tariffs on pharmaceuticals. And he says there's going to be more tariffs coming. This is just the beginning. He also said that he's going to be very strict on Russia and increase tariffs in any country that does business with Russia. And that his tariffs are going to be very beautiful. He said that it's going to help create justice. We had our trade representative, Jamieson Greer, come out saying that President Trump is likely not going to change the tariff date for now, and that this next tariff date is likely going to stay. And then on top of that, he said that with the tariffs coming out, the rates are likely going to stay as well. So we'll see if this has an effect on the market. Sometimes the effects are delayed to some extent. President Trump also mentioned that he's been working very hard with the China deal, and he's willing to meet up with Xi Jinping, the president of China, in case the deal is to be announced. So that's another positive piece of news. So we have some good pieces of news and some bad news. The market's still neutral, getting close to greed again. Momentum's at neutral, getting close to greed. And then our put to call option ratio went up, and this is now kind of like hurting shorts. So we're going to see what happens as time goes on. The VIX is dipping, but it does have a falling wedge. So we'll see what that leads to. With that being said, let's talk about the charts. What's going to likely happen? Well, let's go over the bullish and bearish cases and talk about what the chart is now suggesting given all this news. Let's say we're bearish, just hypothetically, okay? This is the hypothetical case. If we're bearish tomorrow, you want to see us fail at 630 and then 6 to 6.5 on SPY. Let's just say the tariffs are too high, the market doesn't like it, we get bad jobs numbers, and the market starts dipping. If we lose those two supports, 630, then 6 to 6.5, I think we dump to fill the gap all the way down close to 620 or below. We get a big rug pull if we lose those two supports. If we're bullish, quite simply, we just need to hold above 630. I think as long as we're above 630, we're favoring that this is a higher low, and this is also looking like a cup and handle. So then we're going to be favoring a big shift in direction back up to about 635, then potentially this imbalance around 638 is going to be coming. And we could be looking for a squeeze close to all-time highs one more time. Now, even if we do squeeze near all-time highs, I don't fully trust this rally. I still think that it's very possible we get more downside again, and we will eventually come back to fill this gap down here in the 620s and more gaps down below. I do think they're going to get filled in the future, and possibly this month it's still going to happen, but we're not ready yet to see that big downside move. So I figured that instead of just trying to predict every downside move, we'll just follow the price action, which is bullish for now. I do warn you, this pump is likely not going to last forever. There will be a time we do return this month to that 620 level to fill the gap. I do believe that's going to likely happen. But right now, we're not ready to come down unless we lose some key support. And we haven't lost support yet. So it doesn't make sense to just bet on us crashing yet. Instead, just follow the price action, which looks more bullish for now. So yes, we could still come down to fill this gap. My view has not changed, but I'm saying that I don't know exactly when it's going to happen now. It may take another couple of days, may take another week. So instead of just trying to time the top, let's just follow the price action. Then once the market shows signs it's about to reverse, that's when we can start to short again. But for now, it makes more sense to just play the charts and ride this trend up. For now, we're bullish as long as we're above 630. So this is now going to temporarily favor upside. So you guys could play the chart for now. I want to be very honest about that. Sometimes directions could shift. On the QQQ, it's the same thing. Appl is helping this pump quite a bit. It's up 2% again in the after hours. If the QQQ loses 563, we're looking for a dip to 560. If we can't hold 560 and we close below that, I think we could be dipping to fill this gap around 553. That's the bearish case. The bullish case is that this is looking like a cup and handle now. And so long as we don't lose 563, we're favoring an attempt to slowly uptrend for 570 or above. I think we're doing a fantastic job, at least thus far. For now, we have a cup and handle, and we're favoring basically 570. So I think we're looking quite strong, and the cup and handle could take the QQQ a lot higher. I think it's looking fantastic. On the IWM, keep in mind that we're making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower highs. This is not looking as strong as SPY in the QQQ, but technically speaking, the last couple of days it's been range bound. So if you want to be a bull, you need to hold above 222 to be bullish. If you want to be a bear, you want to see it fill at 218 to start dumping for like 216 or below to fill that gap. As of right now, it looks like we consolidate. And I'm going to see if we could break 222 or else we have like a head and shoulders like pattern and it could turn back down. But I'm favoring some consolidation between 218 and 222 for tomorrow. Then we'll see what happens as time goes on. On ES, however, we're looking more bullish. We have a nice looking cup and handle like structure. If we lose 63.50, this could be dipping back down below 6,300. But as long as we hold this, we're going to be favoring 6,400 plus. My guts tells me that this is looking bullish, and as long as we don't lose our EMAs here, I see a test of 6,400 tomorrow, at least from a technical standpoint. Of course, it also depends on President Trump's tariffs. It depends on the jobs numbers, so I can't make promises, but technicals do favor upside for 6,400 plus for now on ES. So we're just going to follow the price action and be very, very unbiased. For NQ, we came down here, made a higher low, and now we're breaking structure. So we're trying to break structure right here. We're back to bullish. If we lose 23,300, we could dip back down towards these lows if we get bad news about the tariffs or whatever. We could be dipping back down, but we have to take out this 23,000 area to be bearish. For now, the setup looks like we have a low here, a higher low, and now we're back to forming a cup and handle. And so long as we don't lose 23,300, we're favoring 23,500 or above to start pushing a lot higher. So I think that we're doing a fantastic job. Bitcoin has an inverse head and shoulders as well. If we lose 114,500, we're looking for a dump back down. As long as we hold this, we're going to be favoring 116,000 plus or above. So I think we're doing great. We're doing a fantastic job at holding up. Tesla's doing very well right here. We're also kind of stuck in the middle. We're also going kind of like back and forth between supply and demand. We're going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And for the time being, I just think that we're stuck and we're favoring a push back up towards 320 then 325. Now, if we end up losing basically 312, we could be dumping a lot lower, but I don't see us losing 315 or 312 yet. I think we have a nice inverse head and shoulders. So we're favoring basically 325 as our potential target as long as we're above 320. I think Tesla's doing a fantastic job. So far, we're doing fantastic. Nvidia was very, very mixed. So President Trump said he wants to increase tariffs on the semiconductor industry. And ever since that news came out, we did see Nvidia dip yesterday, but now it's trying to bounce. So it's looking good right now. So although there was a head and shoulders, this could be a trap. And I think that it's more like we're just kind of consolidating in a range. If we see Nvidia lose 177 and then 175, we're bearish. As long as we're above 177.9, we're actually favoring 181 tomorrow. It looks like it might be pushing a bit higher with Appl, especially with the investments being made into the US. There's a good chance we try to go higher. President Trump also said that he's going to threaten a 35% tariff on the European Union if they don't commit to their $600 billion investment. So this is incentivizing them to go forward with the deal. Another good piece of news for the semiconductor industry and tech, this could once again help Nvidia to some extent. Appl, like I said, it's looking very solid. It's looking like it's going to be testing 220 if that breaks. Our next target is going to be up here around the 225 area. I think we're doing a great job. For Netflix, we're looking quite good right here. We're going to be favoring 1180 if that breaks. I'm looking for an attempt for this white trend line. So notice that we got lots of rejections off this white trend line. Rejection after rejection is going to be a big resistance. I think we retest the white trend line, which is going to be around 1185 tomorrow. And then if we break that, we're looking for 1200. But if we lose 1166, we turn back down. We're favoring a test of the trend line. So 1185 is likely coming to about 1200. I think we're doing a great job. MSTR is looking quite good. If we break 385, we're looking for a push higher for basically 388. But if we lose 375, we're turning back down. This is still favoring the 380s. For Celsius, we could be pushing higher if we break past 43.2. We're looking for 44. If we lose 42, we're going to be turning back down. So for now, we're favoring upside for 44. For Supermicro, if we end up losing 44, we're going to be looking for a dump. But if we hold support, we're looking for an attempt for basically 48. So I think the odds favor 48. Palantir is making higher highs and higher lows. If we break past 180, we're going to be looking for an attempt for 182.5. But if we lose 175, we're looking for a dip back down. I think for now we're favoring 182. For Rivian, we're looking decent. We're consolidating. We could be looking for a push to 12.29. For SoFi, we have support at 21, and we have this resistance at 22. We're trying to push for 22, so please keep that in mind. AMD is looking for 168 to 170 is our target, so we're going to see if we reject or not, but I do favor some upside. ARM is consolidating. We have a bullish divergence slightly. It might consolidate like this, and I think that we might be retesting 141. PayPal, as long as we're above 69, we're going to be favoring a push for this support becoming resistance around 70.5. It might be pushing a bit. Coinbase needs to hold above 300. As long as we're above 300, we're favoring 310. Amazon, as long as we break 222, we're looking for an attempt for 227. Meta is looking more bullish. We're favoring 775. Google is looking for 198 as our target. As long as we don't lose 195, we're looking bullish. And Microsoft, so long as we don't lose 522, we're going to consolidate between 528 and 522. We'll see how we end up reacting, but for now, we're just kind of stuck in the middle. I think we just kind of consolidate tomorrow. DJT is going to be looking for an attempt for 16.6 tomorrow. The VIX is technically on a downtrend, but keep in mind there's another falling wedge forming. So this may continue to fall. And as it falls and falls and falls and falls, we're going to be looking to see if this breaks out higher. This tells me the market may get a rug pull, but we're not ready yet. The VIX is still on a downtrend, so for now, the market could pump higher. We'll see how President Trump's tariffs and any other big pieces of news and data affects the markets for tomorrow. But for now, the charts do look more bullish unless we lose key support. The 10-year is dipping, the dollar is dipping, and crude is kind of flat right here. So all of this is still favoring upside. The charts are back to bullish. So the best thing I could tell you is we're going to just play the charts. We could be looking for an attempt to get closer to all-time highs if this continues. And for now, the bulls are back. But keep in mind, I'm not saying this is going to last forever. This may last a couple more days or another week. So the best thing to do is just don't try to time this. Don't try to just short the hell out of this because, we don't know exactly how this is going to go. And for now, if you want to short this, you have to wait for confirmation for about to get a big rejection. That's going to be your sign, but there's no rejection yet. We're still pushing, so we're just going to play the price action up for now. This is a shift, I understand, but it is what it is. The market sometimes has new pieces of news, and as traders, we have to be very, very adaptive. When it comes to predictions, we could get predictions right most of the time, but not always. Sometimes unexpected news could come out, so it is what it is, right? It's another day. We just continue to manage risks and play the charts in front of us, and we're still looking more bullish, so follow the trend, and we'll see how high this goes. I do believe the market's going to push higher for now, but once again, we'll see when the top forms. It may take a couple more days. It could happen tomorrow. We'll see. I do expect some madness. Tomorrow we have President Trump's tariffs, and we'll see what President Trump announces about his tariffs and new changes to economic policy. The Apple news and the big investments are helping this market pump. Apple's leading the way higher. So for now, we look bullish and we're just going to follow the trend for now. Thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great day, night, or evening, wherever you guys are around the world. And I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow before market open. Have a good one and peace out.